have to say that I'm very happy to see you in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm glad that you're not pulled apart anymore. So before we get into the show itself,
Right.
I have to say I saw you looking very dapper at the premiere. You had your white collar, you had a nice blazer, you had the sunglasses.
Yeah.
How do you like that that type of experience? Is it kind of awkward because you have strangers taking pictures at you? Is it hard to get used to? What's that like?
The premiere was honestly, it was really great. It was a life-changing experience, and I'm really grateful that I was there. I'll admit I was a little nervous at first because
Yeah.
I'd never done something quite that scale. But once it began, honestly, I just sort of relaxed, smiled, took photos. A few people that weren't part of press that were invited to watch the show, they asked to take some photos with me, which was a really cool experience. I've never had someone ask for photos before.
Yeah.
So I was really happy. I was really thrilled. It was overall like an amazing experience.
Yeah, you look like you were having fun, but to me, I
Yeah.
was like, I would wonder what I would do if I was in your shoes, and I would be like, geez, this is kind of nerve wracking. I have people taking pictures. I have to always kind of show my best face. It just seems like a lot of pressure, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. It looked like a great time.
It was
They went to they didn't spare any expense. They really dressed everything up, like even the almost like the set, the prop. It looked like it was like you were almost on a set.
Yeah, yeah. It was really crazy. They had facades over all the buildings. They had like themed the place where you would go and get food. It was themed. They had a karaoke like bar.
Yeah,
The DJ booth had like a giant red balloon over it.
right.
It was crazy. No expenses spared for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I have to say, so from when you shot to now, you almost look a little. How long ago did you shoot that?
Oh my, I shot a while ago. I think like early 2023.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long ago. My goodness.
Yeah, it was super long ago. So I've gotten a lot of comments from my friends that have seen the show. I've definitely changed quite a bit.
Well, you know what? That's how life works, right?
Yeah.
You're a good-looking kid now. You're a good-looking kid then. It all works out for you. I get it. I get it. So when you read the script, right? When you get the role and you read the script, and you see the terrible things that are going to happen to Teddy, what is your immediate reaction? Are you like, are you kidding me? Like, what is the first many things going through your mind?
I'll admit I was kind of excited. I saw what they had in the script, and I was like, oh, I was a little like off put, and then I started thinking, this is gonna be really fun to film. This is gonna be super fun. I have never done anything like this, and like I was kind of I was excited. I was thrilled.
Yeah. What did friends and family say when they saw how Teddy went out? Did they say any reactions for what he's gone through?
Um, there was a lot of silence when I first watched it
Yeah.
because I had to tell everyone according to my contract that I was a main character,
Yeah.
and I was there for the whole show. So they saw that, and there was a lot of silence, about 2 minutes or so of silence and shocked expressions, and then it was kind of just cacophony. They were all like, "This must have been a dream." Like you, they're making theories. They were, yeah, it was. I'll say less than positive.
Yeah, and it's weird too because if you go to IMDb, it says you're in 8 of the 10 episodes, I think. So
Hmm.
that I don't know what you could say about that, but it does show you in 8 episodes. I don't know. I don't know how. Maybe that's a flashback scenes they count as you being on, part of the episode. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
let me ask you this. So did you know the backstory? It took me a while to get this, the backstory behind Teddy and what his family has gone through generationally. Did you pick up on that right away as far as who his uncle is? And I'm going to explain that for those watching and listening.
Hmm.
Were you familiar with that? Because it took me, I couldn't connect the dots. I'm like, oh my God, the last name. And I finally figured it out.
Yeah. The first day I was in the hair trailer, while we were doing consultation, they showed me the reference image, and it was Stanley from the first movie, and I was like, oh, it's Stan Uris from the first
Yeah.
movie. And then they said, well, yeah, you're his uncle, and then I like it kind of clicks there, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. I have a
Yeah.
brother, in the series. The character of Teddy is Jewish. Same thing with Stanley. And the most glaring similarity is they have the exact same last name, and also very similar hairdos.
Yeah, very similar hairdos. And let me just explain what you're talking about. So, uh, your your older brother, Teddy's older brother in the show is Donald, who is Stan's father, and Teddy, Stan's uncle.
Yeah.
Okay, and Stan takes his life in the It movie because he just can't fathom having to
Hmm.
face Pennywise again, so he takes his life.
Hmm.
Then the viewer, we kind of backtrack, we see what happens to your character. This is like generational trauma. It
Yeah.
echoes almost like an eternity. And when you really wrap your head around it, it's unbelievable. It's tough to understand. It's so much pain. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like, how do you see that? Because I was like, the more you think about it, the more depressing it gets. It's like
Yeah.
this is so much more than just a horror show. It's so much more than that.
Yeah. It's definitely tragic. What happened to Teddy and what happens to Stan. It's tragic, definitely. I think it's all sort of part of Pennywise's game. He is tormenting this family, sort of, and feeding off their fear. Um, so I think it's it shows a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of messaging in the show that isn't just about terrifying clown murdering people.
Right, right, right.
Um, there's like family relations. That's one of the themes of the show, family, um, and tragedy and how the family deals with that. Um, and yeah, in Stan's case, unfortunately, he committed suicide, um, which I think it can touch on themes of family. As for viewers of the show, Donald isn't the nicest individual.
Mm,
He's quite stern with his son, quite demanding
yep.
with his duties, and I think that could trickle through. And as you can see in the series, Teddy's father is really stern with him, and his whole family almost are quite stern with him, um, which I think can just trickle down through generations. And I think the way that Teddy's father treated him, and Teddy's father could have treated Donald, could have gone through to Donald, and in turn gone through to Stanley. Um, it could be part of Pennywise's game, but it could just be part of the themes of family in the show. So there's some difficult subject matter there,
Yeah.
for sure. But
It's a,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
it's a great explanation. And you know the other thing is too is that like I feel like when we look at this, just like we're gonna get to the lamp scene in a second, but the
yeah.
entity or Pennywise or whomever it is, it doesn't,
Hmm.
and I said this in an earlier interview, it doesn't just like scare you like you were saying. It's not just, horror. It is like I'm gonna hurt you mentally as hard as I can, and I want to make it linger and last for it. It's just the amount of pain that the characters go through in that way. And I mean not so much the physical stuff, but just the stuff that like goes into the
Yeah,
mind. And that's the to me, that's the nightmare here. It's not the killing and any other stuff. It's in the scene with Claire with the pickles, and then you with so many scenes, right? Um,
yeah,
but that's the really scary part, isn't it?
yeah. It's
You know?
like Pennywise is a very, very cruel creature, or it is a very cruel creature. And I think part of the horror, like you said, isn't just the jump scares or the scary moments that Pennywise puts characters through, but sort of the sustained torture, the sustained horror, the
Yeah.
hallucinations, the personal trauma, the things that each character is not only scared of, but also is feeling like deeply hurt by, or deeply sensitive about. Which is, yeah, I mean, I think a part of the horror is the hopelessness that
Yes, that's a
that
great word. That's a great word.
yeah, that the
Yes.
entity instills
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
its victims.
Tell me if you agree with this. By the way, another great explanation. That you phrased it much better than I could have. Do you feel like I feel like your character was sacrificed in episode one, just to show how awful this thing is. Like, just
Yeah.
the lamp and the ending, obviously, but it was a combination of things that this thing is relentless and it will spare no one. Do you see it that way too?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it was to show sort of this isn't going to be like the movies where people can work together to beat it. This is, I think, the scene between Teddy and Phil and Susie, where they all unfortunately die.
Right.
I think it's to demonstrate, like, hey, it is not playing around. It's not messing around. Like, there is genuine danger to each of the kids. There is like, this is not like a haunted house or something, or some slasher that they can work together to beat or escape. This is a genuine, powerful creature that doesn't care how old you are, how many friends you have, what's going through in your life. So yeah, I think the scene was quite powerful. To showcase sort of the tone for the series.
You were amazing in that first episode. I have to tell you that. I can't believe I waited 12 minutes into the interview to tell you this, but you are absolutely terrific.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Let me ask you, what's scarier, the demon baby above your head or Pennywise above my head? Which is more frightening to you?
Ooh, I think the demon baby. I gotta say, I think
I
the
do
demon
too.
baby. Because the thing about Pennywise, the clown. Sure, he's scary, he's creepy, he's very unnerving. But there's been 2 movies, endless posters. He's on the cover of the book. There's like, he's been seen quite a lot. He's become a familiar face. People dress up as him for Halloween. This thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's really disturbing to look at. It's really, really disturbing to look at. So
I guess I wanted to ask you, and I'm going to hop around a little bit, like the combination of things. Like, how is that scene shot where you're pulled apart? I get it, CGI, but like, how much of that, like, when does it stop? It's such a combination of both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about anything about that last scene that really left people with their jaws on the ground, stunned and shocked, and whatever you want to say about shooting that last scene, I'll let you say.
Yeah, sure. Shooting that last scene was really fun. My favorite part was not the getting ripped apart, actually. My favorite part was when the creature first came out of the screen, and we were all like screaming and terrified and running around this way and that, because like it was just fun to shoot. Running, and then also I think another part that was really fun to shoot was that bit where my face sort of splattered against the what's it called?
Oh, like the projectionist box, the window in the projection box.
Yeah.
That
was quite fun to film. It was pretty technical what they did, and they used a lot of fake blood. A lot of fake blood.
Yeah.
It was in my hair for like days. But it was super fun to film. We spent a long time filming that too. We spent almost a full day on that one like millisecond shot.
Right.
But it was fun to film. It was pretty, for lack of a better term, heavy metal. So,
when we see Miles too, before he comes out, right, he's got his lip does that thing that Bill Skarsgård does, which is so frightening, and he comes out. That scene could have been one of the best scenes ever in a show. Like, the one I wanted to ask you about though was you mentioned earlier that Teddy's Jewish, and we see that when we watch the episode. Teddy's dad tells him at the table that they use skins of Jewish prisoners to make lampshades. To me, this is the perfect example of how awful Pennywise is, right? Because just a couple hours later, my God, like what your character goes through when that lamp comes to life. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. I'm like, oh my God. Talk about that scene. And was the lamp a CGI or is that an actual lamp?
Yeah, they used an actual lamp. So it was actually sort of a combination of CGI and normal shots, but I'll get to that in a second. I think the scene was actually quite powerful because it sort of showcased that Pennywise was far above just cheap scares and like showing people what they're like scared of. Like he could have easily turned into a spider or a snake or an evil clown, which is stuff that people are afraid of. But the fear of the sort of terrible things that happen to Teddy's heritage is far deeper than that. And it's a true, genuine fear that can leave someone like scarred. It can leave someone thinking about it for days, years. So I think that scene was quite powerful to show just sort of the lengths that Pennywise is willing to go to scare his victims, and just sort of set the tone of the show as well. Like, Pennywise is not messing around here. This is genuine, terrifying, horrible stuff that he's going to do. So yeah, I think that scene was quite powerful. It was pretty difficult to film too, both technically and also because it was quite difficult subject matter. There was a lot of quiet attitude on set, and yeah, people were less joyful, I guess, on set, less happy while we were filming that scene, because it's very difficult subject matter, I'll admit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but in terms of the lamp, they used a normal lamp. So we shot a scene at first where the lamp turned off, I turned it on. We did that sequence 3 times with a normal lamp, and we shot the whole scene with basically a normal lamp. And then we shot it again a second time, the full scene, with like the scary like skin lamp. So, and then they combined the two, spliced it, and yeah, we came out with the terrifying products that we got.
Yeah. Does that lamp, like something like the prop sets, do they all go into a warehouse? Because I know sometimes actors talk about how they take something home from the set. That's like the one thing I would never want anywhere near. Like, that was frightening to watch unfold. And that's got to be tough for you as an actor too, because like, it's the seriousness of it. Like, your reaction was so perfect in that scene, but it had to be challenging in that way too, given the subject matter, but also what you're doing and what you're trying to convey. That's got to be a little bit challenging too.
Yeah. Fear is something difficult to portray as an actor sometimes. Because sometimes you kind of just think like you're on a set, there's nothing to be scared of. So it took a few takes, took a little bit of warming up, but I managed to internalize what was going on and put myself into Teddy's shoes. And I think I'm proud of what I did with the work I did in that scene. Yeah, it was a difficult scene to film. But I'm proud of what I put out.
Yeah, you should be proud of what you put out. That was to me, it was my favorite scene in the sense that it really got me. It really hammers home how awful that, like, just the anti-Semitism this clown has. It's just evil. It's just pure evil. Just like the Holocaust was. That scene is just evil, and it's a great job of hammering that home. Somebody on Reddit wanted me to ask you.
Okay.
How did you feel about your character in that brutal death? We kind of touched on a little bit of that, but how did you feel? You kind of said you loved it. It was kind of awesome. But if there's anything else you wanted to add, I told them I would ask you that question.
While I was filming it, especially with that window pane scene, I was kind of just thinking, this is awesome. Like, this is kind of crazy. Since no one really gets an opportunity to film something as like outwardly gross and like crazy and out of this world as that, with like the action and all that. I'll admit, when I watched it the first few times, especially in front of family, it was a little off-putting. Just to see the final product of like me getting ripped in half and smashed against a wall. But while it's a tiny bit disturbing, it was more cool and fun. Like, I definitely like that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes, actually.
Yeah. Did because that's all anybody talked about that next day. Hey, the kid that got, Teddy got ripped apart. And as an actor, that's what you want. You want people talking about your performance. That's what they were talking about how great of a show was, but come on, the first couple sentences that people's mouth was, I can't believe he got ripped apart like that. Or like, that's an awesome like that's a great testament to you as an actor because you want people talking about your performance. That's the thing, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing I was kind of sad of, because when we watch it, we hope, oh my god, this is going to be like, and I said this in another interview, oh, this is going to be like Stranger Things. These kids are going to fight evil, and they said it. They let us know right away that that's not it at all. But I
Yeah.
got to say, I kind of would love to see the friendship of Phil and Teddy unfold. I liked it. I feel like we all need a friend like Phil. I think
Yeah.
they're good for each other. You know, Phil's sarcastic. He's a bit of an a-hole, but he's a good friend. Like he's
Yeah.
there for you. You know, he's there in that sarcastic way. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I would have loved to watch that friendship unfold, but that was taken from us. But
Yeah.
what's your take on Phil and the actor Jack and that whole thing?
I think honestly, one of the reasons why we had great chemistry on the screen is because we had great chemistry behind the scenes.
Gotcha.
I can confidently say he's one of my like greatest friends. From the moment I met him when we were first going to set, he was in the same van as us. I said, "Hi, my name's Mikkal. Nice to meet you. I play Teddy, right?" He said, "Hi, I'm Jack. I play Phil. Nice to meet you." We shook hands, and from there it just took off. He's high energy. He's funny. He's a great guy, and I think that really complements his character and also the chemistry between Teddy and Phil. So there was a lot of great friendship scenes between the two of them, and yeah, I agree. I definitely would have liked to see a few more.
Even before he comes, the Miles comes out, or the demon baby comes out of the screen. He
Mhm.
throws a smart ass answer like, what did he say? He said, "I knew those military guys were like." Even in
Yeah.
a moment of despair, he was just that comic relief that we needed. What's your take? Well, you've seen it, so I guess I'll
Mhm.
ask it. What's your take on this whole thing? Was just a dream at the movie theater?
Um, I think.
You don't have to answer it if I would. I don't want you to like reveal anything that you're not supposed to.
I think people should watch the coming episodes coming up.
Good job. Well
um,
thought out. Good job.
I think they should watch to find out what happened. But I think it's not a bad theory. I'll say it's not a bad theory. But yeah, people should watch the upcoming episodes, I think.
Who did you watch the first episode with? Who was in the room with you? If you don't mind me asking.
Of course, yeah. So the very first episode, I was at the premiere. I was given the opportunity to watch 1 week early, which I'm forever
Oh,
thankful.
that's right. The premiere. Yeah, that's where you would have seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought my mom along for the ride, and I brought my agent, Nigel Mikowski.
Gotcha.
And they were both thrilled to see the product. And then when it came out on streaming services, 1 week later, for the public, I watched it with a lot of people. I watched it with a huge amount of extended family,
Nice.
um,
Nice.
family friends. I brought along some of my closest friends as well, and it was really great. So we went to a theater, our local theater, and then they said they would stream the movie, or sorry, the episode for us. So I was actually really fortunate. I was able to see it on like a big movie theater screen.
Oh, hold on. So that's really cool. So your local theater
Yeah,
streamed it at like a movie theater, so everybody
yeah,
could watch that episode.
yeah,
Dude, that is awesome. How cool
yeah.
is
It was
that?
super cool. It was super cool. And
Wow.
yeah, it was a great event. I took a lot of photos with my family. We sort of had some decorations around the theater, some theme decorations, some red
Oh,
balloons.
very nice. Yeah, that is really cool. Hey, I have to know, what did mom say when she saw her son being in the theater? Well, her I guess her, her real life son in the that final scene getting ripped apart. Was she stunned? Did she know it was coming? Because maybe you guys were working on the script and maybe reading lines with each other. I don't know, but like, what was mom's reaction when she saw it unfold?
Yeah, she knew it was coming. She knew it was coming. I told her what happened, and then she just like she knew it was just like a TV series. I think she closed her eyes the first time at the premiere
Yeah,
because
yeah.
mom doesn't deal well with horror.
I
Um,
get it. I get it.
And then the second time she watched it, and I think she didn't expect it to be so graphic, but she wasn't like overly torn up. She wasn't crying. She wasn't in tears or anything. She was shocked at how graphic it was, but she was more happy that I was in the show.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if you can answer this, but do we see Teddy again, or is that something we have to just stay tuned for?
Oh, I think staying tuned. You
Okay.
should stay tuned. Yeah.
Man, I have to say, you are such a wonderful person, and thank you for coming on. Let me ask you this before I let you go.
Of course.
Who are some actors in movies that Mikkal, in your life that as you want to be an actor, you really admired, and maybe there's an actor or a movie, both, that you're like really that's kind of fueled your fire for acting.
hmm Tom Hardy is actually, believe it or not, he's quite a big role model to me.
He's
Not
awesome.
just because he has very good acting skills and he's in a lot of high-profile shows, but also because he's a very kind and respectful individual behind the scenes.
Mm.
He has resilience. He's very kind, and yeah, he's very respectful, which is something I admire a lot. He's not egotistical. He doesn't let anything get to his head. So I try and be like him, and I try and stay humble
Mm.
and stay respectful to everyone I meet.
Mm. Has this opportunity created other opportunities for you? Has the role of Teddy opened up stuff that you're perhaps getting some more auditions, and like, because we want to see you more on screen, right? We've seen a little bit of what you're able to do, and people are responding really well to it. So what's around the corner for you? If you don't mind sharing, I know there's some stuff you
Mhm.
can't, but whatever you wanted to say.
Yeah. There's been a lot of opportunities actually, which I'm forever grateful for.
Good.
I'm getting some quite a few auditions, which is nice. Some auditions. There's some pretty interesting projects. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I've been going out for some pretty interesting, pretty experimental projects. So if I were to get a role in one of those, I'd be really grateful. But yeah, there's definitely some opportunity coming up because of this show, and I'm super grateful.
Yeah, you are a talented person, and I'm really excited for the future. But like, I don't know, you just really hammered it home as Teddy, and you really gave the audience and fans of King and it like you really shined, and you did a wonderful job. You should be super proud of yourself.
Thank you so much.